How about Tua? Speaking of good quarterbacks in the SEC. I was at Buck Sexton's engagement party on Thursday night, so I wasn't watching live for the game against the Bengals. Certainly, I've seen it since. And I talked about this morning on Fox News. The challenge as it pertains to player health is that every player, almost to a man, will lie and try to get back into the game if they can, even if they don't feel 100% in their head. They will. So the challenge that the NFL has and the challenge that the NFLPA has is you are dealing with guys that are such gladiators, that are such warriors, that they will, if they can, fake their way back out onto the field, even though they may not be healthy enough to be there. And it can be both mental, it can be shoulder, it can be legs. Guys will try and get back out onto the field if they can. So I think that's certainly what is likely at play here for Tua. Coaches are busy. There's a lot of times there's people who say, how in the world could a coach let this happen? I don't blame coaches when it comes to in-game health situations. They don't know, right? First of all, they're not doctors. Secondly, they're trying to manage so many different things that are going on their headset. Typically, they are going to hear from medical staff, the guy can go or he can't, and they are then going to rely on that advice. So I know there's people out there who are coming after Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel saying, oh, how in the world could he let this happen? Come on. Anyone who has ever stood on a sideline for a major college football or NFL game, and I've been fortunate to do both, knows how chaotic it is for a head coach. So the idea that the head coach is going to know every little nuance of an injury is not at play. Heck, if you've been on the sideline for a big high school game, you know how challenging it is in high school as well. So the NFL's in a tough spot to try to figure out a protocol that can make sense that the players aren't going to take advantage of. That is the biggest challenge here. Certainly what everybody wants is for guys that are injured or unhealthy, and especially if that injury puts them at much greater risk in the next game, we hope that that is not going to ever be an issue. And I think the NFL has a challenging job, but I'm not of the opinion that the NFL is filled with awful doctors and awful human beings. And I understand everybody's trying to rip everybody else over this. I think everybody's trying to get to the right result. I think there is just a challenge sometimes in getting to that right result. And I believe it's already been announced that Tua is still in concussion protocol and will not be back until at least week after this one. Also, certainly, there should be an investigation to determine whether the accurate and adequate medical procedures were followed, and if they weren't, what needs to happen going forward. But I